This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.
We are back with the dynamic duo, Liz and Megan. That's right. We're talking about developing healthy sleep habits for newborns to age 2. This is part 2, and I'm sure they'll review a little bit about where we left off last time. But first, Liz, Megan, please introduce yourself before we begin.
Yeah, my name is Liz Wysong Hoffart, and I own Good Friend Sleep Services. I'm located in Lincoln, Nebraska, but it's a virtual service, so all over the United States, and I can also serve people locally as well.
Great. So my name is Megan Wysong, and I own Bump to Babe Doula and Sleep Services. I likewise service virtually clients for sleep services. I'm located in Baltimore and offer postpartum doula services there as well.
Beautiful. And tell me just a little more, about the work that you're doing, and of course, how what you specifically offer for the clients, if you don't mind.
Yeah. Um, I also do parent coaching as well, which enhances parenting skills and navigate challenges like tantrums and boundaries, limit setting with teenagers, appropriate technology use, and I build parent skills like fostering, nurturing relationships with children. I also set short-term and long-term goals with families that involve their children's physical, emotional, social, academic progress that set action steps to achieve those goals. So that's another skill or another area that I work on along with my sleep services.
Sure. So maybe to go into a little bit more detail about the sleep services that we offer. So we
Yes.
work with newborns up to children that at age 6,
Okay.
and
Oh,
we provide evidence-based sleep coaching for children, and we focus on working with the temperament of the children, the parenting styles and family dynamics, and we promote healthy sleep habits for all age children.
beautiful. And today we're going to finish up that conversation we had about sleep coaching, right? That was with the newborns to 2-year-olds. And we
Yes.
talked on the last podcast about why sleep really matters to your child's development, parental well-being. And we also reviewed the infant sleep cycle. So the differences between sleep shaping with a newborn and then sleep training for a baby. Again, you mentioned 6 months, children 6 months old and up. So finally, we reviewed a couple of sleep myths around sleep training, and I want to see what we're focusing on for today because you mentioned setting up your child's environment for healthy sleep. We're starting there, right?
Yep.
How you can safely bed share with your children. 2 common challenges around newborn to 2-year-old sleep, the 4-month sleep regression, and when a family should reach out to a sleep coach for assistance. So, thank you. So, first off, let's remind everyone why is a newborn to 2 a critical window for developing healthy sleep habits? Meg, if you don't mind starting off taking this, I'd
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Yeah. So, the first 2 years are really important. That's when babies' brains are developing, the circadian rhythms are getting established. They are dealing with emotional regulation. All of that is rapidly developing. So, babies and toddlers are primed to learn how to fall asleep and stay asleep and connect their routines with comfort. So, healthy sleep habits formed early lead to easier bedtimes, fewer night wakings, smoother toddler phases, and better long-term development. So, we need to keep in mind, sleep is not a luxury, it's a necessity, and good sleep habits support growth, development, learning, etc.
Perfect. All right. And could you also, remind us, why sleep really matters for children and for parents? Liz.
Yeah. So sleep quality and the quantity
Oh,
is
wow.
really the most significant influence on healthy lives and just daily lives. Um, for example, when my children were young, I felt like I couldn't even function during the day if I didn't get a good night's sleep. And even today, when my kids aren't young kids, they're teenagers now. If I have to stay up late, I feel like I can't function. Um, Sleep really disrupts a child's nights, so their days, they can't be, they're less mentally alert, they're more inattentive, they have an inability to concentrate, they're easily distracted, they're physically impulsive, they're hyperactive. Um, Another part of my day is I'm a teacher, so I see this in the classroom all the time. Children have their heads down on their desks at school. They overcompensate, so they can't sit still a lot of times because they're more wired rather than tired. And kids get identified with ADHD, and oftentimes it's because they're overtired. And lots of times we have kids that ask to go to the nurse just to take naps during the day. For parents, lots of parents are sleep deprived, and that impacts their central nervous system, including their motor skills, their ability to think. They're irritable with not only their coworkers or their parenting. It affects their focus and their mental health, and all the way down to their cellular and tissue breakdown. Um, when children get better sleep, you see improvements with their attention, their mental and emotional maturity, and how they can regulate their emotions, just their quality of life, and mental and physical health. And routine disruptive sleep can be associated with postpartum depression, depression in general, emotional mental disorders, diabetes, obesity, hypertension, and the list goes on and on. So sleep impacts every part of your life.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much. We know, of course, it's just like sleep, even as adults. I'm still struggling at 47.
Yeah.
But it's good to start young to get it right. And I know just the older we get, you hear people taking medication and doing this. It just, all right, we pray we start these habits early and young enough, right? And also, you want to make sure you keep a very safe environment for your child as well, right? And do you want to talk a little about the infant, sleeping safely and how that works, Liz?
Yeah, sure. So the American Academy of Pediatrics really has lots of suggestions on how to keep kids safe, or infants safe. One of them is to always put your infant on their back, um, until they can roll over. Once they roll over, it's okay to put them on their back, and then if they roll over, to let them roll over. And then at 1 years of age, then you can put them on their stomach to put them in their crib. And then they should be put on a firm mattress with a fitted sheet. Remove any toys, blankets, pillows, bumper pads, and other
Mm-hmm.
accessories from their crib or bassinet. They should be in a swaddle or a sleep sack to make sure their body temperature is just right. Once they can roll over, then take them
Mm-hmm.
out of that swaddle.
Perfect. Now, also, let me ask you about bed sharing. Is that safe?
Yeah, so I'm glad you asked. Um, uh, According to the American Academy of Pediatrics, there's one way that you are supposed to be sleeping, your child is supposed to be sleeping in their own space in a crib or a bassinet. Now, being a postpartum doula and experiencing babies in those first early weeks, many of them want to be contact napping. They're not
Mm-hmm.
comfortable being put on their back. So, what I find is like a lot of families will contact nap them overnight in a recliner or on a couch. And that is incredibly unsafe. Now, if we are thinking about public health, we think about a harm reduction model, which means let's do something that is intentional. And doing bed sharing intentionally is safer than falling asleep. So when we talk about intentional bed sharing, we go through the La Leche League safety tips. So mom needs to be exclusively breastfeeding day and night. No smoking, sober adults. Nobody on alcohol or drowsy medications. Baby is healthy and full term. Baby's on their back in light clothing, no swaddles, on a firm mattress with no extra pillows, blankets, or toys. So there should also be a rolled up towel in the crack between the bed and the wall, and the baby should be on the side of the mother and the dad on the other side. So those are ways that if you find yourself needing to bed share,
Yeah.
you can do it in a safer manner.
Yeah, I did personally with both of my children, and I've always lived alone. It's always been just me, so it was just me and the boy, well, little one, and then when the other one grew out, then just the other one. And
Yeah,
I don't know if you're gonna not like me after I tell you this, and some people judge me, but I'm 47. My kids are 10 and 8, and because we've always been a unit, just the three of us, we still sleep together, and that's probably not a good thing. People like judging and say it's not good, it's not healthy. I personally like it. I mean, I
yeah,
really want my space a little bit, but a lot of people out there judge. When is the
yeah,
right age to stop the co-sleeping? Let me
yeah, yeah.
any
Well,
idea?
yeah, so I talk to families all the time,
Mhm.
and everyone sleeps differently. People are more comfortable and less comfortable in different
Yeah.
arrangements. If it's working for you, if it's working for your boys, don't change it.
Yeah, still it is.
There's
And we love
no,
cuddling at night.
yes,
I'm like, it's
yes,
going to stop soon. Trust me, they're not going to be teenagers. If they are, then it might
yes,
be a little different, but they're not going to
yes,
want their mom.
yes,
But right now they
yes,
do, and I enjoy it just as much as them. And it seems
yes,
good the smile I have. It just brings me so
yes.
much love to hug something that I love.
I know. Yes. No, so there's no
Okay,
judgment
good.
and you don't need to change that.
Thank you.
We work with families when they get to the point where they're like, we can't deal with this anymore. A lot of times it's a pregnant mom who is co-sleeping their older toddler and they feel like they need to move that child out of their bed when the new baby comes. Or, their toddler is kicking all night and mom and dad aren't able to sleep. So we primarily work with families that their current sleep situation is not working for them and they're looking for alternatives.
All right, thank you so much.
And
Let's
I
move
have
over to, oh, go ahead.
oh, I have another example. I worked with a family that their little boy had sleep apnea and they needed to be wearing a CPAP. And so he needed to be in his own bed and not be bouncing back and forth, co-sleeping
Yeah.
sometimes and in his own bed. And so that was a situation that they needed to call a sleep specialist or a sleep consultant. So there's lots of situations where families choose to call a sleep consultant and families choose to co-sleep. So
Great,
you're
thank you.
fine. Too.
Thanks. So what are the common sleep challenges and tips for, back to, this earlier age group?
Yeah, yeah.
So one of them is short naps. Um, Infant sleep cycles are usually only anywhere from 40 to 50 minutes, and babies often struggle to try to connect their sleep cycles. So, some tips are using age-appropriate wake windows. So, newborns might only have a 40 to 50-minute wake window or an hour wake window. So, that includes their feeding time. So, they may wake up, feed, change a nap or a diaper, and then go right back to sleep. Um, and that wake window increases in length as they get a little bit older. Another one is to keep the room dark and use white noise. Also, creating a pre-nap routine is really important. So having a nap or a bedtime
Yeah.
routine and then creating that nap routine that is similar. And then practicing at least one nap a day in the crib or bassinet. And you can be doing those all the naps in the crib as well. It doesn't have to be just the one nap.
Got it. All right. Good to know. And Meg?
Yeah. So another challenge that our families face is frequent night wakings. So often babies develop really strong sleep associations where
Hmm.
they are nursed to sleep or fed to sleep. They often get rocked to sleep. Maybe they have to have a pacifier in order to sleep. And this often will cause the baby to wake up between those infant sleep cycles and sort of look around waiting for to be fed or rocked or the pacifier replaced. So that is one reason why they may have frequent night wakings. So a couple tips. You want to separate feeding
Oh,
bit of setting up a routine of feeding, then play time, and then sleep. So you reduce that association. You want to use consistent soothing methods, keeping
okay.
bedtime predictable and earlier, and
Okay.
ensure the space is dark and calm.
Interesting. Perfect. Thank you so much. And I lost my notes here, guys. Sorry. My
Oh,
computer went like this. So could you just guide me into
yeah,
the next?
yes.
Refreshing.
So,
The dreaded 4 month sleep. Yeah, okay, progression.
yes,
Got it. Sorry. What is this exactly against the 4 month sleep progression? And
yes.
how do we get through it? Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. So the 4 month sleep progression, I call it a progression
Got it.
rather than
Got
a
it. Yeah. Sorry.
regression. That's fine. Happens anywhere from 3 to 5 months. This is when the baby's brain is developing at lightning speed. They're learning new skills like rolling over, babbling. They're moving from a newborn to an adult-like sleep pattern. And sleep is becoming more consolidated. The circadian rhythm is
Mhm.
developing, etc. So that's why I like to think of it as a progression because they aren't going back, but often they may have frequent night wakings, shorter naps, increased fussiness, trouble settling, and that all usually lasts about 2 to 6 weeks. So again, to get through that, you're going to want to use age-appropriate wake windows. Again, keep the room very dark with white noise. Follow a predictable bedtime routine. Don't rush in
Okay.
when they start stirring after they come out of that first infant cycle, because we want to give them time to move into the next. And staying consistent. All of those will help you get through that sleep regression.
Thank you. Or as you say, progression. All right. So once your
Yeah.
parents reach out to a pediatric sleep coach, what do you suggest?
Yeah. Anytime that children's sleep is a problem and it's significantly impacting the family's well-being, Um, if you've tried various sleep training methods without success, a lot of times we hear, I've tried everything, and that's a time when they can contact us. Severe sleep deprivation is impacting their child's mood, daytime functioning, school is feeling like it's it's impacting their school performance. Um, they are struggling to establish a consistent sleep routine or schedule, or they're experiencing frequent night wakings,
Mm-hmm.
challenges, anything like that. Those are all good times to reach out.
Perfect. And do you want to talk a little bit about, how they support family as sleep coaches and all as well?
Yeah, so we support the whole family
Yeah.
to ensure that they get better nights of sleep. So, um, how we actually go about working with families is we create customized sleep plans based on your child's temperament, your family dynamics, what your values are. These plans can include sleep shaping if it's a newborn up to 4 months old, or sleep training up to 6 year olds. We offer 2 weeks of support and accountability through text messaging and voice support.
Mm-hmm.
And like we said, sort of at the very beginning, we offer both virtual and in-person support in Baltimore and Lincoln, Nebraska. And all of that is for real-time troubleshooting. So a lot of parents say they've tried different things, and I always equate that to sort of throwing spaghetti against a wall to see what sticks. But having dedicated time and a plan with everyone on the same page,
Mm-hmm.
we end up getting results more than sort of a roughshod approach.
Got it. All right. Thank you so much for sharing that. And before we wrap up, we still got a few more minutes. Is there anything else that you want to make
Yeah.
sure we cover for today?
Yeah, well, I wanted to maybe give a little preview about some of the episodes that we are going to be doing in the next couple weeks.
Beautiful.
So, I recently wrapped up with 4 different families with children between the ages of 4 months all the way to 4.5 months.
Okay.
And as part of the wrap up, I talked to
4.5
them
years.
or 4.5 years, yes. I talked to them about coming on the podcast.
Oh, great.
And yeah, so we will be interviewing some families that have gone through the process to talk about why they ended up hiring a sleep coach, what was their situation at home, what made them decide to move forward, what that experience was like, and what were the outcomes. So I'm really excited to get a chance to actually hear right from the parents how this has changed their whole family's sleep story.
Beautiful. I love it. That's exciting. Thank you so much. I'm glad we're going to be together still for the next few weeks. Awesome. That's
Yeah.
exciting. All right. Well, to wrap up for today, let's talk about how we can contact you all.
Sure. So you can reach me. I'm Megan Wysong. And again, my company name is Bump to Babe Doula and Sleep Services. So you can go to my website, which is bumptobabedoula.com, and you can fill out a request for a discovery call or send me an email at megan@bumptobabedoula.com. You can also follow my Instagram at Meg Wysong_doula.sleep.coach.
And you can reach Liz at
Mm-hmm.
goodfriendssleepservices.com. And you can
Perfect.
fill out a contact form. And you can reach me also at Liz at goodfriendssleepservices.com. You can follow me at Instagram at LizWH_sleep.coach.
All right. Thank you so much. Pleasure having you both. And thank you so much for all that you do. Very thorough. And I can't wait to meet some of the families you've worked with.
Yeah.
Yes, it'll be
Uh,
exciting.
all right, ladies.
Thanks
We
so
back
much.
next week then, or?
Yeah. Yep. We'll
Perfect.
be
All
there.
right, good. Just making sure, because some people could wait a few weeks and then I'd have to say, oh my gosh, happy holidays and all that. So, all right, good. We'll
Yes.
talk soon. Thank you
Okay.
again for all your
Thanks.
advice and for making me feel better, because I have family members who like judging me, and women in my family who are in their 80s, never had children, and tell me that is horrible. How dare I let them? And okay, thank you. I
No
feel better.
judgment.
Thank
No
you. Thank
judgment.
you. To each his own. All right, bye-bye.
Yes.
This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.